Yes, people. What is happening? Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome back to another Friday night debate show. We have a new guest on today. Statman will be joining us. He's just restarting his phone. He's here actually right now. But I want to welcome a special guest who's joining us for the first time on the show. Is it pronounced Suyash? Suyash, are you there? I don't think you can hear me. Suyash, come in and out. I don't think you can hear me, brother. No, don't think you can hear me. Suyash, you might have to come in and out. I don't know if you can hear me.
You're right in the private chat, innit?
Yeah, right in the private chat. But Statman, man, how you doing, brother? How you doing?
Listen, just had to restart my laptop quickly. My audio weren't working, but now I'm back. I'm good. What you
Yeah,
saying?
man, you're back, man. I'm good, man. We out here, man. And like I said to you, we're just here. Another Friday night debate show. You know what I'm saying? The season is over now, man. Statman. One more game and the season is over.
I can't lie. I'm so happy the season's over because this season it's just dragged in it. Like the last couple of weeks, we know we're playing for nothing. We're not really seeing anything new from the players in terms of maybe a couple youngsters coming in. Just end the season and let Ten Hag kind of get to work in it. See the players, see a couple players potentially coming in preseason, which is going to be interesting to see. That's all we have to worry about now next season.
What do you think of his press conferences today, man? He looked a bit more assertive. He looked a bit more kind of like, "Yo, man, we need to fix this mess." Basically, innit?
You know what I feel like has happened? Obviously, he spoke about he's talked to Ten Hag now, innit? It seems that now they kind of like he's kind of got diverted where he's going to be here, innit? We're going to be working closely with Ten Hag, and let's just get to work, kind of thing.
Absolutely. Suyash, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Not too bad. Do you mind closing the window because you can hear the background a little bit?
Okay, let me try.
Okay, no worries, man. No worries. But yeah, man, Statman, it's gonna be a eventful. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a crazy end to the season. But Suyash, just want to ask you for your opinion, man. Last game of the season. By the way, give yourself a shout out. Who you are, what you do. By the way, let the people know.
So mostly on Twitter, I do like analytic threads, tactical threads. I also write for an account called United Exclusive.
Yeah.
So you'd see me post animations or graphs, those kind of things related to players and teams.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's a pleasure to come on. Obviously, Danny in the Devil Details is meant to come on the show today, but he said to me, I've got a perfect guy to come in and step in for me. Charlie's got exams, people, so he's concentrated on exams as well. So big up to Suyash for coming on. We're just talking about the season, Suyash, and it's nearly ended. What have you made of the season? I've not got, obviously, know your opinion for the first time, and for the panelists, for the people at home. What's been your kind of verdict of the season?
It's a failed season, isn't it? There's no prizes for guessing. Not up to the standards, even considering where, even knowing where we'd go. Like I was expecting a season like this under Ole. I feel it was only about time, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. We've dropped below the expected. Even in a worse season, we should have finished fifth. I feel, not lower than that.
Well, I think it's just been a very, very inconsistent season. It's tailed off. I think the season just kind of ended in January, really. But today, people, this is a very, very interactive show. It will be a debateful show as well. We want to hear your opinions, people, on the player ratings this season. Listen, it's going to be very, very, back and forth. So we want to hear your opinions on it. And the way I've kind of done it, if I could just bring it up right now, people, is I've made it to this, people. So we've got. Can everyone see that? By the way, can everyone see that properly?
Yeah.
Can you see that, Suraj? Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So basically, we split it into shocking, bad, below average, average, good, and outstanding. I think that's probably the best you're gonna get. I tried to do numbers, but I think with numbers, it's not definitive, is it? You know what I mean? We want something that's definitive, and I feel like for me, with this team, especially this team as well, we need a definitive answer. Let's go with the, you know what I mean, the main man. We call him numero uno. That's what we say, Statman. Numero uno. What are you gonna give David De Gea this season? Player ratings and people in the comments. Make sure you get involved as well. David
Wait,
De
what's the
Gea,
This
what's
one's
the
going to be
category?
interesting.
What's the category above good?
outstanding.
Okay. Yeah, you ain't going that high. Ooh, I'll probably say like overall David De Gea. Don't get me wrong, I criticize him a lot in terms of him on the ball, claiming crosses, but I think at the same time, some of the stuff he's produced this season has been incredible at times, isn't it? Like some of his shot stopping. So I'll say good, innit? He's probably been one of our better players this season, even though I do think in the long term, he probably does need replacing.
Suraj, what are you thinking?
Uh, it's tough, you know, when you are going through a season where you've conceded so many goals. I do understand the defense has been calamitous, but I feel there were times where he could have done better himself. The game that comes to my mind is the Watford game,
Yeah.
and I feel he didn't do that well. And for a team that concedes so many shots, I think he's bound to look good. But and if you look at things like saves percentage, he's not even doing better than a few Premier League goalkeepers that are mid-table goalkeepers. I'm going to say average.
Average, oh my God. We got David De Gea slanders. This might be your last time on the channel, Siash. What's going on here, man? I thought I was going to get David De Gea prop down here. But listen, there's part of his game I know that are, for me, below, you know, not the standard required. And in terms of modern day keeper, we need better. But for me, when you're looking at overall, for me, I'm going to put good. I think we can't put outstanding because how many goals he conceded there, Statman? Do you know? 50
Way too
something
many,
goals,
innit?
isn't it?
Yeah, what was
It's
it?
even more. I think it might even be more.
There was a point where we had like one clean sheet in the start of the season or something where we were struggling.
Yeah.
But at the same
exactly.
time, like this is what I say with David here. Like, don't get me wrong, he has deficiencies in his game, innit? But at the same time, when you're facing so many shots, David has saved a lot of it. Let's be realistic.
Absolutely.
So that's where I'm kind of like, as much as we want to criticize David here, this season you kind of have to praise him, innit? Next season, when we're facing less shots, we got a better defense. Then you can argue you can be a bit more critical of David here, innit?
Yep, absolutely.
But this season, 56 goals conceded.
It's similar to way
him, innit?
Yeah.
That's a high number.
Yeah, but you know one thing I say, you know his post shot XG, he saved 7 shots in it, so 7 goals. So that's still a very, very respectable tally for a keeper.
Yeah, absolutely. What was you gonna say there, Siash?
I was just going to say, like, we are used to seeing him make great reflex saves, right? But there are other ways you can stop the ball going into the net. And even just purely looking at saves, all right? I'm not going to judge him the other things where he doesn't do good. Just looking at the saves percent itself, like I'm not saying volumes can be different because everyone is saving at a different numbers. But the saves percent has also been below a few other keepers. It's the other day I was checking. I think it was like 2 or 3% higher than Edison. Edison himself isn't a great shot stopper, we know. And then you look at other keepers. I think Jose Sa is got like 10% higher than David De Gea. It might have changed with the last couple of games, but that's where it was. So this is why I say, like, I think we kind of give him a little more praise, because if you have so many goals to shot, so many shots to stop, then you're bound to look good.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We'll see, man. Time will tell next season. Big up to everybody watching, man. Make sure you smash a like on the video, people. We can't really do Henderson because he's not really played. We're going to go with Fred. Suraj, I'm going to start with you with Fred. And for the people at home, we're talking about Fred now. Where's Fred gone in this season for you? Where would you put him, Fred?
Fred's been up and down, but even in games, he's up and down for me. I feel he's had a great season. Not great. He's had a good season since Ralph came in. But then I don't know, who should I compare Fred versus? Fred versus himself or Fred versus the rest of the team? And I feel another, like, I don't want to be sounding flat or repetitive for every player, but again, Fred for me comes in the average category.
Yeah, I think that was what we were talking about, didn't we, Statman, when we did it halfway through the season, innit? We talk about average. Has he been overall good, or do we still put him in the average? Because, he hasn't gone above average. You know what I mean? It's just been kind of just average, isn't it, really? He's had good games, he's had good moments, but can you say it's overall been David De Gea level good? Or where do you stand with Fred?
It's tough, innit? Because in my eyes, probably post Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's probably been our top 3 best players at the club in terms of
Yeah.
performances. So if we're ranking it in terms of our squad, he's been one of our better players. So that's where I'm like, he might be good. But the start of the season wasn't great, but he was great at the start of the season. He had that spell where I think he came back from COVID where he looked a bit shaky for 2 or 3 weeks. Well, I think he was injured, I can't remember. I'll probably lean towards good.
Yeah. I think I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I think post Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's season, he's looked the more prominent. He's got goals as well, which I didn't expect him to do. You know, I think he's looked more the better midfielder.
In the league.
And also, we can't characterize him with McTominay anymore, which I think is a plus as well. You know, I mean, the fact that we're not able to characterize him with McTominay, and maybe that's been kind of his downfall. I'm going to put him in good, but again, there's going to be people that are going to probably say he's going to be in the section of average. But let's put him in good for now, overall. Luke Shaw, Statman, I'll go with you first. Luke Shaw. For the people watching at home, Luke Shaw, we're talking now.
I can't even remember the last time this guy played. Luke Shaw. Oh, it's between... you know what it is, yeah? If we're looking at Luke Shaw standards for how good he was last year, we were calling him one of the best left-backs in the league. And people were saying he's one of the best left-backs in the world. So if we're judging him by his standards, he's been bad.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's been bad this season, man. I think positionally, Suraj has been his worst point. Suyash, sorry. It's been his worst point. His positionally, him and Maguire have been terrible. You know, getting caught at the back a few games this season. Notably, Everton game at home, couple of games at home where he's been caught out at the back. How do you judge Luke Shaw's overall season, Suyash?
I feel it started off really well. I remember that moment where he ran through the middle of, I think it was Newcastle, and assisted to Ronaldo. So he's had those moments. I think he's got like 3 assists or something this season as well. It's complicated because if I judge him by what he has been for the last couple of seasons, I think he's not been that great. But the team has also been poor, so it's really difficult. He's also not had enough games. So from that standpoint, I think below average.
Below average.
But if I had to compare him with other players, then he'd be in the average category. From his own performances, I think he'd be below average.
Yeah. Well, I think you outnumbered there, Siyash. I'm going to go with bad as well. I think it's been a bad season. From where we always expect. Yep, absolutely. Devil, the details is saying here, Fred good. The bias is mad. He's had 3 good games. Same as McTominay, this fan base. I think he's been more than that. Come on, man. McTominay's not even trying to find passes. You know what I mean, Dalia? This is the show for you. Unfortunately, you couldn't make it, mate. So your opinion is outnumbered here, mate. So go on there.
You know the period where he gave that interview where he was justifying himself with forward passes and more positive games. So in the Rangnick period, from that interview till the point he got injured, like ever since he's come back from the injury, he's been horrible. But I think in that period, I think he was good by his own standards. Not saying really good, but I think he was good. Like he was having good games. But since his injury, he's been back to his old self.
Absolutely. Let's get a super chat from Nathan Minas. Big up to you because Maguire, Rashford, Shaw, Bruno, McTominay should all be in outstanding. I don't know if Nathan Minas, you're taking a piss there, but I reckon you're trolling us, man. You're definitely trolling us. Let's go to the next player. So we put Luke Shaw as bad. So you've been outnumbered there, Siyash. Luke Shaw is out.
No worries. I think I'll be outnumbered for a lot of players.
Well, we'll see, but it's all about opinions, man. It's all about opinions. Yeah. Jesse Lingard, Siyash, you start with that one.
How many games has he really played? Like, not applicable. If that's the category, I'll put him there. But
you know what? That's a good idea actually. Let's put not applicable. Yeah,
because otherwise I would have to go off the field, and then I would have to put him in the lowest category.
Yeah. It's been disappointment for a player we could have used this season, Siyash, isn't it? When you look at it, we could have used him. We could have used him this season, but again, not been possible. I'll give you the next player then, Bruno Fernandes. This one's a contentious one. Overall this season, just because people like stats, what's his stats been this season overall? Like, do you have it on the top of your mind?
6 assists.
10 goals, so 16 GA, yeah? For the people
the
that like
league.
GA.
He got more non-penalty goals this year than last year in the league.
Yeah, true. What Siyash, do you judge Bruno Fernandes by his stats, or do you look at him as a on the eye test? Do you think he's played well this season?
No, I don't think he's played well, and I think all his deficiencies, like it has come to for everyone to see this season more, and I feel his stats just make his performance look a lot better than they are.
Yeah, true.
Over the course of the season, every 90 minutes, every game, he's like up and down, and in the bigger games, he's like the enemy of the team. Constantly giving the ball away and physically not strong, technically not secure. So, because of his numbers, though, you cannot buy goals and assists. You'd have to find him somewhere in the middle. So I would say average again.
I agree, Statman. I'm going to go for average for Bruno Fernandes this season. For me, it's where he put himself up there. Whether you could call it from numbers or whether you could call it from just the impact he's had, you could categorize it from certain things. But for me, I would put him as having a average season by his standards as well. Statman, what are you thinking?
You say average by his standards? See, I don't know, because this fan base was talking about at one point Bruno winning the Ballon d'Or last year. Everyone thinks in this fan base, Bruno's world class. So if we're judging him by that standard, I would say it's been a below average season for him. Now, obviously, the numbers are still there, but I think overall this season, there's been times where he struggled a lot, just like the rest of our team, and because he's one of our better players, I expect a lot more from him.
What do you reckon, people? We're gonna it's between below average and average. So what are the people saying in here? Let me know if it's below average or average, and then whatever determines that, we'll put Bruno Fernandes, because I said average season. You've said Siyash, what have you said?
I've said average as well.
Okay, yeah.
But I wanted to ask Statman one question. Like, you said people were giving him those labels last season. Like, where do you personally think? Do you think he deserved those shouts last season? Was he that player? Just so. Nah. That's why. Like,
I've always said this here. With Bruno Fernandes last year, I thought he was our most important player because everything went for Bruno Fernandes in our side. But at the same time, like, everything was just going through him, which is why his numbers were so inflated.
Yeah,
in my eyes.
He was also allowed to be so further up the pitch.
Exactly,
which helps him.
Also accountability.
Him.
No, but that's where like it helps him, but it might be a deficiency for the rest of our side in terms of our midfield organization.
Exactly. Loses shape of the team.
Exactly. The game I always say, Liverpool. I think the first goal they scored, he's pressing Alisson for no reason. Liverpool 7 passes. That's it. Our midfield shape is gone. They score. You can't be doing that.
He always does that. He's chasing the goalkeeper like he's the centre forward. Usually a centre forward does that, and there's not a hole left in the middle. But when he does that, like the tip of the triangle is lost, you're open through the middle, and then you're left with Fred and McTominay.
And that's not just Bruno's fault, by the way, because the coaching staff are clearly seeing this and saying nothing to him at times as well, especially under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah.
But you still have to take responsibility yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so I think on the balance of what you said, Statman, and what you've presented, I think I'm going to change my mind. I think I'm going to go below average for his as well standards. I think it's been, for me, on the eye test as well, man. He's not performed in big games. He's not been there when we need him the most. So I'm going to go with that one. Did you catch that bit then?
Yeah.
Bit of lag, but yeah.
All right, cool. Right, Statman, your guy, Cristiano Ronaldo. What are you saying?
It's just been a good season. That's it. Scored 18 goals in the league, 6 in the Champions League. There's been periods of the season where he wasn't the best. Obviously, that's not completely his fault, but at the same time, you're still going to have to take responsibility. And listen, you can't put any player outstanding this season, so he's just been good.
No. Even because the age and the fact that, he's come in You still think he still goes in good? You think it's not been clear?
Like if a striker gets 24 goals in all comps, 18 in the league, you have to say that's a respectable tally, no matter who that is. Because only two people have more goals than him in the league.
Yeah, Son and is it Salah? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Yash, what are you thinking?
I agree. I agree with Statman Dave. I think it's a good season. Also considering the team doesn't create enough chances. I don't want to judge him on areas again where we know he's not going to do any better. Like is expected. You cannot expect him to be like a hold up or link up player. But there have been games where he's done that as good as well. He's played well when he's only played one game a week. But there was a long period of in the season where he wasn't scoring, and his performances were not that great either. So that's why I think it balances out. Like he has been outstanding where he's scored from literally nothing created in games, especially those Champions League games. He was scoring from those half chances, from those deflected efforts, and then he's had average or below games. So I think good is where it averages out.
Okay, yeah, that for me, I think that's about right. Even though for me, there's been periods in the season where I thought he looked finished, you know what I mean, and I can hold my hand up and say, you know what, he's done it. He proves you wrong, innit? You know what I mean? He comes out with the goods. Listen, at least I can admit
Say that louder. Say that louder.
Listen, like you said it. I heard it once, man. You heard it once, man. You know what I mean? And that's all you're gonna get, mate. Listen, it is what it is. But there were times in the season, man, where Statman, you see it against Watford, man. He looked absolutely. Bro, I don't know what he was, mate. I don't know if again that comes to I partly blame that to Cavani not being available and him not kind of giving him game time. I think that's the ultimate kind of feeling from him. Have I just put it? Yeah, all right, cool. So let's go with Tellez. Suyash, Tellez.
Sorry, I can't see. Okay, there's. I'll put him at bad. I'll put him at bad. I was trying to put him at shocking. I think that's below bad. But yeah, I think I'll put him at bad. Very, very bad in open play. He's given us a few moments in set pieces, like a few good corners and free kicks. Like at least he's provided something from there, because in the team, no one is really good at set pieces. So for that, I'm just slightly going above shocking and giving him bad.
Yeah. Statman, you know what I mean? I thought he could, you know what I mean? Maybe I just didn't want Luke Shaw to be in the team. That's how much I wanted Tellez in. But I tell you what, man, as soon as I seen him, I think there was one game where he must have been so terrible. I was like, yeah, Tellez is done. I can't remember what game it was where he's getting spun left, right, centre, and he was getting done in.
It was like every game.
Well, there you go, then, innit?
I'll be honest. Like, don't get me wrong, he's meant to be a backup left back, innit? But
yeah.
Like we've questioned if we think Brandon Williams is better than Tellez.
Yeah,
that's how bad he's been this season.
True.
Like don't get me wrong, I think he has 4 assists. That's not too bad. But when you actually watch Alex Tellez play, he's a shocking footballer. Like people criticize Bruno Fernandes, we always say it. Alex Tellez gets the ball, he don't even look up half the time, just boots it forward.
You know what I was going to say?
No athleticism around him as well.
No.
You mentioned that name, Statman Dave. I just joke like in our chats that he's like Bruno Fernandes playing at left back. Like he doesn't even get on, doesn't even get up the pitch before he decides to release a cross or that long ball, like and on the ball, like he makes you realize what Shaw does at least valuable. He's able to carry the ball up into the final thirds of the pitch. But yeah.
Yeah, I think overall, I think for me, I'm going to go with bad. I think shocking, bit too harsh. I think he's had certain moments, Aston Villa game, certain moments where he thought, yeah. But to put him in shocking, I don't know. I think it would be a bit harsh, considering other players have been really, really bad. I think you see me smile. Is that bad, or should we put him in shocking? I think it's up to you guys. If you outnumber it, I was going to put him in bad, but if you guys outnumber me, it's up to you.
I put him in bad too.
Sorry.
No, I just said I might have an agenda against Tellez, isn't it? So you lot decide.
Go on,
yeah,
Suyash,
I've put him in bad too.
Okay, fair enough then. We'll put him in bad. People. We're gonna put him in bad. I think it's borderline shocking, but I think
Yeah, yeah.
overall it's been a very, very bad season. I got a super chat here from my guy Growing Simba. He says CR7 carried us to the Europa League. No player above a 5. Ragnick is going to Austria as a coach, not a consultant, so he failed as a coach at United. Hype. Listen, strong words there from Simba. I think it's a bit too harsh, but that's your opinion, bro. And we all want opinions on here. Let's go to the next player, Marcus Rashford. Statman Baines. I'm going to start off with you, Marcus Rashford, man. I think personally, it's been a shocking season.
Laughable his performances at times. Probably been one of our worst plays.
Mm.
Like once you're being outperformed by Anthony Elang, who's nothing special, you can't say anything good about him this season. He's been shocking. We can't keep using the injury excuse. He has to take responsibility. Walking around the pitch, not tracking back to fullbacks. Nothing short of a disgrace this season.
So, yeah, Shaman, have you got a different opinion, or do you echo the thoughts of Statman?
Yeah, shocking. I just feel some of the things he does, I've not seen anything different in the past 2 or 3 seasons. It's just that this time it has not resulted in that end product that he always used to get, that assist or that goal. I shared one video, I think, which you had retweeted or something, which was when he was trying to beat four men and losing the ball near the corner flag. Like, what was even the purpose of trying to do that? Like, and he's done that for the past 2-3 seasons as well. But one in the 10 times it comes off, because it is really a difficult thing to do, and there is no point doing that. And he keeps trying those things. So yeah, it's just an expected. Yeah.
Well, overall, how many goals has he got this season? Is it 2? Is it?
He got 4 in the league. Because remember when he came back from injury, he got a couple in it.
Yeah, he got a couple. Yeah.
None as a starter, I think. 0 goals as a starter.
Yeah, 0 goals
for
as a
the
starter.
year.
Wow.
Yeah.
This one's going to be a very, very debateful one. And I don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like, does he get the benefit of the doubt because Harry Maguire's been that bad? But Victor Lindelof, Suyash, does he get the benefit of the doubt because Maguire's that bad and he gets under the radar? Or, because Lindelof, for me, I think he's had a decentish season, but I still think he's had, bad games and certainly games where you're thinking, Man City game, the Brighton game, where he's had a horrid time.
Yeah. So Varane's not been available enough, and when the season started, like till that house incident, I feel he was the better of the 3 centre backs in terms of being available as well as being better than them too. I feel he had steadier performances. So for that, I would give him average. It doesn't help when your partner is having a bad game and what is happening in front of you is absolute chaos. So I feel he's been steady this season. But
Statman, what are you
2
thinking?
games, make it average.
Yeah. Statman, what are you thinking? Victor Lindelof.
I can't lie, I'm between average / below average, innit? Because it's been, like, the last couple of weeks he's kind of fallen off, innit? But overall, at the start of the season, it's probably one of our better plays, isn't it? So if that kind of like balances out, I'll probably just lean towards average.
Yeah, average. A lot of people say, average. Yep. Big up to Killis. Average. Yep. A lot of people saying average. I think, again, man, it's just them certain big games. I always look to the big games, man, and I think sometimes he's not been able to kind of give in more. You know what I mean? But again, what can you do when you're on your own? Next one, Statman Bay. Start off with you with this one. McTominay, Scott McTominay, the second coming of Roy Keane, man.
Scott McTominay, man. Probably. The thing is, I don't rate Scott McTominay at all, innit? So in my eyes, his standards are so low. So I'll probably say bad. Like, at least this guy stayed fit for most of the season.
Yeah,
he's been available.
That's his job, innit? Footballer.
Yeah, I know, but like that's it, really, innit? With Scott McTominay, he has had a couple decent performances. Let's be honest. There was that period when Ralph first came in when he was doing that 6 row where he looked alright, kind of thing.
I think for me, like I said, there's no standard in it. But has he been as bad as Rashford? I probably wouldn't say that.
Mm.
But I would go overall bad because for me, there isn't a standard for shocking in it because he's always playing bad. Like he doesn't do anything that's shocking, but he's just always consistently bad. Suyash, I don't know if that's your same opinion, but I would go with bad.
Yeah. I think he's had like I was saying, he's had shocking games recently, and then he's also had a couple of good games in that run, like Statman Day was saying, uh, and then average games as well. So
Mm.
so yeah, I think below average. I would have gone below average.
Mm.
I don't think that the gap between Fred and him has been that high because they've both had good and bad games throughout the
Mm.
season.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I just think for me, a guy who doesn't want to pass and a guy who is always hiding away from the ball and is only playing based on availability. Let's be real. I think for
yeah,
me, I just think his performances have been always bad. I can't remember games where I thought he's been good. I just generally can't. I just can't remember. Maybe It's not Brighton. Brentford second half. There's always been like second half games. Maybe Burnley
yeah,
first half where he was decent. Not
yeah.
many games, where he's been great. You know what I mean? So I think Scott McTominay goes in bad.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one, man. Let's be real. And guys in the comments, man, you have to be fair on this one. I think we have to be fair. Jadon Sancho, Suyash, I'll start with you, man. Jadon Sancho, overall this season, what do we rate him?
It's another tricky one. He's not had enough game time when under Ole, and then recently he's missed a lot of games. So, but when he's played, he's been like either good or he's been average. A couple of below average games as well.
Mm.
I like the player. I'd love to put him in the good bracket, or maybe in the next season he's in the outstanding bracket. But for now, I just feel like he's just average.
Mm. I definitely echo them thoughts. You always baseline Sancho as a very very good player that can be outstanding, but for the season he's had, for me it's been average. It's nothing been great. It's nothing been. He's had flashes really. If you look at his season, he's had flashes here and there. Nothing outstanding, nothing consistent as well. By the way, so for me it becomes average, whether you like it or not. I think you have to take away the emotions from the actual facts. And for me, Statman, I'm going to go with average this season. I'm
Nah,
not
man.
calling him bad.
I would say below average. Like we need to remember, he was bought in for over 70 million pounds. Like don't get me wrong, he's still young. He's still his first year in the Prem. But I would say let's be honest, most people expected a bit better from Jadon Sancho this year.
Yeah,
Like don't get me
fair,
wrong,
fair
I
comment.
love Jadon Sancho in it. Like he's my second favorite player at the club. But like I did
You have to
expect
be
a bit better.
reasonable.
I did
Yeah.
expect a bit better.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, that's fair. I agree. I agree. But again, I think you're outnumbered here, so we're gonna go with average. But again, it goes into the, if there was a category that could go into both, it would be going into both. But I still believe Lindelof and when you look at Sancho, they've had similar seasons. Though when you look at it, like they've had a period where they've been good, but then a period where they've been like bad.
No,
So
but would you say your expectation of Jadon Sancho high though?
absolutely. But I think he's a for me. I'm not. By the way, as people are saying, take the emotion out of it. He's below average. I'm not. I actually think it's been an average season. When I've looked at him closely in games, I know he's had bad performances, but I don't think he's done anything outstanding. But I don't think he's gone to the levels of, that we haven't seen as well. When you look at Bruno Fernandes, he's set a standard. Right now, when you come into Man United, when you come into your first season, I just think it's been a very, very average season from Sancho. Nothing special. I don't think it's below it though. But again, it could be below it. It's all about opinion. But right now, you know what I mean. It's you're being outnumbered. So we're gonna go with below average. We're gonna go with average. Sorry. Next player, Statman. You're gonna go with this one. Wan-Bissaka.
Bad. I
Yep.
think the start of the season was shocking. He got that red card against Young Boys. He had that period where he actually looked all right, and then until the Leicester game, I think he was in it when we lost 4-2. And then after that, he hasn't really played, has he? Dalot has kind of been the main guy. Wan-Bissaka's come in for a couple games here and there, and he hasn't looked the greatest, let's be honest. So I'll say bad.
Say bad. I think bad as well. I think he's been again, you know what I mean, if we even call it standards, you know what I mean, for a defender that only defends, doesn't go forward, is not a natural fullback. What about you, Siyash? Where do you stand with Wan-Bissaka? Do you rate him?
No, not at all. Yeah, I think bad is fair, but then uh, it's difficult. Are you comparing the player with his own standard, or are you
Mm,
comparing him with another teammate? Because what's
mm,
what Baines was saying for Sancho is fair, but then it's comparing him to his own level, and he was trying to put him below average. And then you look at Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Do you
mm,
expect him to do anything more? Uh, and even from that standard, I know he's performed bad, but from his own standard, it would be below average. But from what he's used to doing,
mm,
and he's been even more like worse than that, I think it's bad. So it's
mm.
difficult.
Yeah. I think it's a difficult one, but I think overall, I think it's been a bad season for Wan-Bissaka. This one for me, Dalot. We need to talk about Dalot, man. Statman Baines. You know, I mean, you were coming at me there for Sancho. Dalot, let's be reasonable, man. What kind of season has he had, people? And let me know. And by the way, people, make sure you smash the likes on the video, people, man. It helps the channel grow, helps us get on the algorithm. So if you've not smashed a like on the video right now, please do. And also subscribe if you're new. If you're watching right now, you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, people. I'm gonna go with below average, you know, with Dalot. Don't know. What do you think, guys? Statman Base first. I'm gonna go below average, man. Don't think it's been anything special, to be honest with you. I don't get why the people hype up Dalot, you
I
know.
think
You know what it is? I genuinely don't see it with Dalot. I genuinely don't. Every time he's getting skinned, man. Every winger comes in, it's an easy 1v1.
I would say he's had. I'll probably agree with below average. I think, like in terms of progressing the ball, is very very vital for our side, isn't it? But at the same
Yes.
time, going forward, his crossing has been shocking, and that was something that he was meant to be good at.
Yeah.
And let's be like, is there much difference between Dalot's crossing and Wan-Bissaka's crossing?
But there you go. This is what I'm trying to say.
That's why you have to say below average.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Statmans agree with me here. Siash, you know, how do you rate Dalot? Is he someone
Uh,
that you can rely on next season?
I feel there's something to work with. He can play with either foot. He's good at, like he already mentioned, Baines already
Facts.
mentioned, he's good at progressing the ball. It is the end product. It's like when you get to the final third, that's where his crosses have not come off, but his through passes on the floor, they've been good. Like recent game comes to memory is the Brentford one, where he created 2 goals. Uh, it was the pass before the assist. So he can do those things as well, when comes to going forward. But yeah, it would be unfair when we've put Aaron Wan-Bissaka at bad to put Dalot at average, because he's not been like a level up, 2 levels above him. So yeah, below average is fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Absolutely, man. Big up to everybody who's watching, man. Below average for Dalot. I think that's a interesting. Maybe Timber could be answer, man, at right back. We'll see, man. We'll see. That's if we get Timber. Quan Mato, I think we can put in NA.
Yeah,
Ilango, Siash, Ilango. Where would you put him, Ilango, for this season? And let us know in the comments as well, people.
it started off with good. I think what he was providing to the team was missing from the other guys. That intensity, that willingness to win the ball, and he's also got a couple of goals and assists. I don't know the numbers, but yeah, he's been on the sheet as well. But I think it has tailed off in the recent games, and he's had shocking games as well. So considering it's his first season, I would put him in average, because
Yeah.
he's helped us win games as well, even though he's not contributed to goals in those games. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same people. I'm going to go with average. I think you can't really expect much from him when he's just a young player. And I think he's wasn't meant to be playing. If I'm being honest with you, if United had their positions locked in, and obviously with what happened with Greenwood and whatnot, I don't think he'd even be playing. for United at this current stage of where we were meant to be this season. He would have been a bit part player, but he's had to be more of a prominent player. Statman. We had him about halfway through the season, Statman, as good. Obviously, Suyash has got that right in terms of start of the season, but now has drifted in. I've gone for average. What are you going for, Statman?
Yeah, I probably agree with that. I think the last couple of games is kind of, you could probably argue, tailed off a bit, innit? Compared to how we started. But at the same time, we expected nothing from Malanga this season, innit? No one thought he'd break through. He's nothing special, but he's kind of taken his chance a bit, innit? So, fair play to him.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, let's go with that one for Ilango. Let me put him here 1 second and put him in average. Next one is Matic. Start of the season, Statman. So half through the season, we said he was one of our better performing players. Has he still kept that consistency, or has he kind of tailed off a little bit towards the end of the season, Statman?
I think overall he probably has been one of our better players. We see when he's not in the side how much we lack in terms of ball progression in the midfield. Someone that's just comfortable playing on the half-turn kind of thing at times. When he's facing his own goal, we lack that. His passing range is very good. His line-breaking passes are very good. I'll probably still say it's tough between good and average, isn't it? Because I feel like when the man you match has played, he's been good. But you probably say,
I think I can help you.
Go on.
I think it should be good. It is only fair. If we have put Fred there, then Matic belongs in the good category. Because like you were saying, the game looks completely different when Matic was playing. Especially not in the game where he's had to play with both Pogba and Bruno, because that was not the right thing to do by the coach. But in the games where we've set up well, he's helped us control the game. We look much more calm and controlled, and he's also done the role of a number 10. He's created goals for us off late in couple of games, so you cannot take anything away from him. I think good is the least you can do.
I'm willing to go to the side of good. I think for me overall, Statman, I don't know if you were going to go there as well. Good.
I was just thinking, I don't think he's really been injured much this season ever, innit?
No, I think when he's played, rarely can I say, you know what I mean? Like, he's had bad performances. So can you put him as average? I think he's been good while he's been there. You know what I mean? There's a few games where I thought he's been...
Atletico, he was brilliant when he came on as well. Changed the game.
Absolutely. A lot of people saying average.
The ball just moves quicker when he's playing for us. We look fluid. Like, people focus too much on the speed of leg, but the speed of ball, you know, that makes you fluid, and the team looks fluid with him. So for him, you either put him in the good or you put him in the NA category, because he's not had enough games until late.
If average at best, below average, good. I think overall, I would say it's been good. But again, you know what I mean? I could have put a category called okay. But again, I think that's similar to average, isn't it? You know what I mean? Someone's asking you here, man, what's Ronaldo have done?
What do you mean, what's Ronaldo done? You been watching United play, or have you not?
Yep, absolutely. This one's going to be a very, very straightforward one, I think, personally. Paul Pogba. Started the season off well. Siyash, you know, I mean, I had a bet with Big Steve that he would have a better season than De Bruyne. Obviously, it's not worked out that way. But Paul Pogba, and people in the comments, you have to you're not biased towards any favourite player if you have that, or if Pogba's your favourite player. But for me, if I'm being honest with you, it's been a below average season.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Started off really well. I was carried away. I thought he was going to get like 15 to 20 assists after those first 7 assists.
Yeah.
But then he's not been available enough. And then he's got sent off, bad challenges. So, you know, that's why it goes to below average for me.
Yeah. Statman, could it have been a bad season for you? Were you tempted by the bad season, or are you tempted?
Yeah, because let's be honest, like, everyone, like, it's similar to Bruno, everyone calls him world class. How many world class performances have we actually seen from Pogba this season? If we're comparing him to how good we think Paul Pogba can be, he hasn't been it. Let's be honest. Like obviously, the start of the season got a couple assists. Most of our big games this season, he hasn't been the best. Injuries haven't helped him either. So I'll probably say for Paul Pogba standards, he's been bad.
Yeah, listen.
And we always say Paul Pogba struggles when he plays 90 minutes now. Because fitness-wise, he hasn't been it.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, he just looks tired.
Because you know what it is? Because the audience have, or the people in the comments are saying it's been bad. I think it's only right. I think for me, the audience to have this one. If if for me, it looks like unanimous with the kind of people watching that he has had a bad season. So we're gonna put him in bad. I think that's only right. So I think personally, it's below average.
Meant to be in his prime.
29, yeah, meant to be in his prime. So we're gonna have to say bad season for Paul Pogba. Who's next? Phil Jones again? No. This one here. We have to get to this one. Raphael Varane. Raphael Varane. Listen, I think next season is a very, very key season for me. I'm still gonna give him time. There's no agenda for me on Raphael Varane. I think he's a good defender. He should be playing for Man United. But this season for me, it's been one of the flops of the season. If I'm being really honest with you, you name me a good game that Raphael Varane's had. Aston Villa in the FA Cup, probably, when he kept a clean sheet. You know what I mean? But it's been one of the biggest flops of the season.
The Wolves game, maybe he bailed Maguire out a couple of occasions when.
Yeah.
There have been games initially he looked impressive, but then he's been injured so many of the games. Like he's missed so many games. I don't know. He could even possibly go to not applicable, but from his own standards. If I have to say put not being available, also if I consider that, then it has to be bad because it's not like he's available and he's not being picked. He's just been injured all the time. So I think bad. I think bad is about right.
Danny in the comments is saying, this is what I mean. You can't tell me Varane has had a worse season than Sancho. But again, it's what you have standards, in it. I know you don't want to hear that word all the time, but standards, in it. Champions League Varane, the pedigree he's coming in with, the fact that he came in with experience, man. We've not seen that in the back line. Okay, it's not his fault, but I've not even seen his performance has been that great. You know what I mean? There's been, again, a few key performances. Soyasha said a few, but come on, man. You know what I mean? This is a guy who's meant to at least, if you want to mark a player, at least give me 10 good performances in a season. You can't tell me, you can name me 10 good performances for Varane this season. Danny, you can't come and say to me, you can give me 10 good games from Varane. I'm sorry, man. People, stop saying it. For me, it's been a bad season from Varane. I think it's been a bad season. Statman Baines, what are you saying about Raphael Varane?
This is a tough one, isn't it? Because he's 29. You sign an experienced player. He's won Champions League, won league titles. You expect a much better than what he has. Like when people comparing it to Sancho, you can kind of say Sancho's 22 in it, coming into a new league. You wouldn't say he's reached the pinnacle of football yet. Varane's reached it. So in my eyes, my expectations for Varane were a lot higher. So I'll probably say below average in it. Fitness hasn't helped, but I think at times he has looked all right in it when he's played. And obviously, I think the last couple of games he has kind of struggled.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm going to be fair, I'm going to put Sancho one down. I'm going to put below average. I think that's fair. I get what you mean, Danny. If you look at it overall, it's been a below average for Sancho. But then that makes sense for me to give Thingy a bad. What did you say, Siyash, by the way?
I said bad, but I'm willing to put him at below average after that reasoning from Baines.
You know what it is? It's so hard judging defenders, isn't it? Because I always say it. The key thing with defenders is the organisation in front of you. Our midfield organisation is shocking. So you're leaving defenders in a lot of situations where they're 1v1. And let's be honest, you don't expect defenders to win most 1v1 battles. It's not realistic kind of thing, which is why I think it's tough.
Yeah. And we've put Lindelof in average, so I don't think it's been that big of a difference. The only thing is Varane's not been available. That's why I went a bit harsh on him. So yeah, below average, I think it's fair.
You've outnumbered me then because I went with bad season. But again, that's up to you. I'm just looking at the pedigrees coming with.
You can put him in really.
Yeah, well, there you go. Exactly. It's been that kind of season. Well, it's been that kind of season, but we've got Maguire, Statman. This shouldn't take too long, should it?
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. As I said, with the same thing with Varane, the defensive organisation hasn't helped in front of him, innit? But at the same time, Maguire's costing us goals from his errors, kind of thing, innit? Like there's times where he gets the ball and you can tell the entire kind of, sometimes you can sense it in the ground where everyone's just nervous when he gets the ball because you don't know what he's going to do. It doesn't fill anyone with confidence. So what? This is Maguire's third year? I think he's all.
Third year, yeah, man. It's crazy, isn't it? Time flies, man.
You have to say shocking. Captain of the club as well.
Shocking season, man. Siyash, do you rate Maguire, by the way, Siyash?
Not as much, but I still rate him above guys like Bailly or Tuanzebe. Like I don't get the argument of having Eric Bailly or Tuanzebe above Maguire. I feel like he's the third best centre back we have. So I don't feel he's as bad as he's been this season. Like he started off with, there was a stat like most shots or goals conceded due to errors, and Fred and Maguire were contributing to that. Maguire especially, and I think he's gone from shocking to bad as the season went on. I think he started off really badly, like shocking, and then he went to bad. But considering he's the captain, doesn't take accountability when he speaks, no zero self-reflection. He's always talking about the team, and when he's himself not had a good game, never says, I made a mistake. I should do better. He's always saying we. So for me, yeah, shocking.
Yep. Okay. Let's put shocking for Maguire. I don't really need to comment on that one. You know what I mean? It's been a shocking season. Edison Cavani. Can we still rate him though, or do we think he's still on NA? I think he's still NA, isn't it? He's not played enough.
It's NA, but I want to give him shocking because it feels like he doesn't want to play some of those games.
Yeah, true.
Ragnick has said he wanted to play him one game, but he himself said he didn't feel like he could play, and the medical team was saying they could find no issues with him, but he was saying like he couldn't feel 100%. So I feel like he's been really picky with the games he wanted to play.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So, right, we'll put him in shocking. I think Statman, he deserves to be in shocking, man, for the fact that he's faked injuries for me. Going into the boxing game and saying he's got a kind of a tummy ache and whatnot. Come on, man. You just didn't want to play, man. Just didn't want to play.
Being absolutely disgraced this season. Yep. Shocking. He deserves that. Can't stand the guy.
Yep, absolutely. And then the rest, you've got Henderson not playing. Everton for Donny van der Beek. Palestri obviously was at loan. Hannibal, we can't really rate him. Heaton, obviously hardly played. Brandon Williams on loan at Norwich. Greenwood, obviously you know what's happening with Greenwood. Tuanzebe, I don't even think he's playing for Napoli right now at the minute.
He ain't.
Yeah, Martial, again, injury for Sevilla. Bailly, again, not played enough. Lee Grant, I don't know what he does. Ahmad, not played enough game time. Shola Shotai, too young. Menji, too young. So you've got how many players there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 players. Plus this three here. That's 17 players out of the squad that really, you know what I mean? It's just basically just nothing, isn't it, really? When you look at it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, that, isn't it, when you look at it, the squad. All these guys are out on loan and obviously have bare problems and whatnot. But it should be more options when you look at it. We're gonna allow people to review the list, and if you disagree with everything, let us know now because this is your time to kind of disagree with us. We're gonna go one by one. David De Gea. Do you want us to keep him there or put him below? Let us know in the comments. David De Gea. Want to keep him or do you want to put him below? So let us know in the comments, people. Keep or put below. Too many players are good. No one deserves to be there. Okay. Yep, list looks fine. All right, cool. Right. Fred. Fred was the one. A lot of people were saying. Fred is the one that I think is contentious that we might have to just review again. Does Fred need to stay there, or does he need to go down one? Do you think Fred has had an average or good season? Let us know in the comments. Keep below. Average. Yep, keep unanimous. There you have it, people. There is your list, man. There is your list, people. I think that's a fair list, man. Suyash, what do you think, man? When you look at that overall, is that damning for you, or is that just about where we deserve to be?
Yeah, considering where we are finishing, I do get one of the comment like cannot have 4 players in the good category, but it is what it is. Like I think we've agreed with all of those players in those categories.
Oh, whoa. We got a new guest in here. Man, like Daddy's come in. Daddy, what's going on, Daddy? I thought you said you're taking the night off, man.
No, Mrs. Finally, she's come and taking the kids in it. So, but listen, nah, man, this list, yeah. Hold on, let me rotate so I can get.
Rotate, so you can. Yeah.
Using my phone quickly. Hold on a second. If we were doing Player of the Seasons award, that means that Fred would be in the running for Player of the Season. You man know that's not true. You know.
To be honest, I think he's, you know.
You know that's not true. Who's the fourth man in good? We've had 4 players play good this season. Who's the?
Yeah,
I think
I did challenge that.
Who's the fourth guy?
What do you mean you did challenge? Which one did you challenge?
No. I'm saying I just challenged the consensus that 4 of them are in there.
Okay.
Yeah, Matic, I kind of get it. It's just half of his games he's been terrible. We know.
Okay, you could be the one then. You could be the one to put people down then, innit? You come on now. You change it.
Right.
Be reasonable though. Be reasonable.
All right, reasonable. No. Matic is, listen, I run Fred agendas all the time just because I think him and McTominay are the same. You see, Football Manager has a star rating. They're the same star rating. Stop pretending one of them is better than the other. They're both 2.5
come
star
on,
players.
man.
Nah, you can't be doing that, man.
Come on, man.
Sorry.
You got a Fred agenda, man.
They're both 2.5 star players on that game. I think. I haven't played a game in a while. All right,
Matic did Danny not come in and say he had a Fred agenda?
Yeah,
in it.
We can't be taking it seriously.
No, but I said if the rule should be fair, I could only move one man from a category if I was doing it that way. Matic can't be good. Matic can't be in there. He can't be in good. He hasn't.
Do you not think for what he's done though? If you look at context though, for how many minutes he's played, for the way he's come in certain half times or whatnot, and second half of the season, overall, can you not characterize him as good?
But Saeed, this is the problem. This is my thing. I don't erase bad performances out of my mind. Like Ronaldo hasn't had a good season. He's just scored big goals and scored goals. I don't care what no one tells me. Yeah, like don't you matter. You've just erased his bad performances, which is fine. Matic, when he was being used as a sub, he looked good. Then he weren't playing. I wanted him in the team. Then Fred got injured, or McTominay did it, or Fred got injured. Then he started starting. Then McTominay got injured. He started more games. He was terrible. He's terrible. Terrible. Those shocking performances we got in the last few games of the season, he was part of that.
Who was Matic?
Yeah, he was part of it. It's just a few man looked worse, but he was part of it. He was terrible. To be fair,
but he had better performances in those bad games.
Ralph was asking him to do things you shouldn't be asking Matic to do in terms of covering grants. Like he can't do it, but you can't have him. It's like David De Gea, objectively, has been the best player this season. I think there's distance between De Gea and even the next person you think who's been as good. There's too many men in the good category for me. Aside from that, though, I'd say, Rashford needs his own category. Can you make a new category? He can't.
What do you want to call it?
I don't know, but you can't have anybody. Rashford needs his own category. You can't be. You're disrespecting the part-time player that is Cavani and our home television unit, our home surround sound cinema unit in Maguire. Yeah, just I don't know what to call it. What ask the audience?
We'll just call it Rashford category.
Yeah,
disgusting.
Yeah, disgusting. Yeah, that's fair. I just saw that and was like, as bad as I know, Cavani left in January, didn't he?
Rashford category.
Like, just Rashford needs his own category. In terms of the bad, no, I was going mad in the comments, but you might have actually did a relatively good job. It's just there's too many men in the good. That's all it is. That's all. And I have to run my agendas when I need to run them, man. When man rank,
listen, it's overall.
Yo, Saeed, man, we're trying to upgrade him to bishop last season. I had to get onto people. I'm like, when did he become a bishop? He's still a
Pastor Fred.
Keep him down.
Pastor Fred, mate. Pastor Fred, man. But overall, man, that's what's been the season, man, guys. That's been the season for you. You know what I mean? What would you give Ralph Ragnick if you were to give that, Danny? Overall.
Why would you ask me? Ask Statman.
Listen,
Don't ask me.
all right, Statman, then go on first.
You said
Overall,
that the Ralph agenda yesterday, people in the chat.
well, listen, let's
Overall.
hear from you, innit? Let's hear from me now. Ralph Ragnick, and everyone in the comments, you
Okay.
can be honest as well. Be honest.
Oh, let me say this here, that we're not judging. If we're judging Ralph as a manager, I said if you don't get top 4, you failed, didn't I? think you had enough time. Obviously,
Remember
you're
I asked
saying-
you that start of the season. Remember I asked you that start of the season, and I said to you, we won't be able to blame Ralph Ragnick for the season,
No,
and you was
but I'm
like,
not-
what? Go on.
No, I still think he deserves some like responsibility kind of thing in it for this season. Everyone was saying this guy's the godfather of football kind of thing. Klopp's father, Tuchel's father.
I was saying these things.
Yeah, don't explain me. I've been shameless with that. But you can't tell me like the last couple of weeks, our team performance have been any different from Oli. They've been shocking. And look how much you criticize Oli. This ain't his plays, which is why I'm not gonna be saying Ralph out and all of that stuff. But I'll probably say 3, 2.
Yeah,
Depends if you get Europa League.
yeah. Well, I don't know if that's any kind of consolation, but it is what it is. Suyash, what are you saying? Ralph Ragnick.
Yeah. He's been shocking. If we are doing the same categories, he's been shocking as a manager. Like, I know we wanted to these players to be exposed, but after a while it got jarring. Like, we know they are bad, but what are you doing about it? You're like not changing anything. And under Ole, I was always complaining about the starting 11 being imbalanced, and I think Ragnick made it even worse. I saw a game with McTominay holding on his own, both Bruno and Pogba. Like, he's tried those things which has been really bad. Like, he's taken off midfielder in games where you're absolutely getting dominated in the middle, and it's gone from 1-0 to 4-0. Like, for me as a coach, he's been really bad for me. The only thing I would say though, I think he's been the unluckiest coach in the last 4 or 5 years. The amount of players that have been unavailable for him, like no forward line, in the midfield, injuries to Fred and McTominay, like, did not happen as much under Ole. Maguire unavailable, Varane, Lindelof in different games unavailable, Shaw not available, Aaron Wan-Bissaka not available. So from that standpoint, I do have sympathy for him. But still, from what he had available, he should have done better.
Absolutely. Danny, what are you giving him overall rating? What did you give him, by the way? What have you given him? What number did you give him?
Or category?
Number 3. I think I've only
3.
gone from 2 to 3 because of players. He's not had enough players available. Even Sancho, I just remember even Sancho's not been available for him.
Yeah, big up Killis. He makes a good point there. He didn't use a squad enough for the squad. Yeah, maybe that's right. Danny, what are you going for?
Yeah, my scaling's different. I'd give him a 4 or a 5, just because of what he inherited. I don't get onto people for their limitations. So because it's not a group designed for his brand of football.
Someone in the comment gave him a 7.
He's not an elite tactician, so he can't adapt to the mismatch of players that he's inherited. Them MLS guys got 1. See the MLS coaches, those guys, they get a 1 because he weren't leading the training session. But yeah, I'll give Ralph a 4, just because you know what it is. I would have given him a 5. I'll give him a 4 for this. Atletico Madrid at Old Trafford, and your fullbacks are narrow. That's got nothing to do with players downing tools. That's got nothing to do with not having the right profiles or style. Why are your fullbacks narrow against the best low block team in Europe? It's bad tactics. And then since that game, that's when everything I think the players knew after that game he got nothing to fight for. So I don't hold that against him. He was coaching 4-0 before that. So yeah, I'll give him a 4. I'll be a little bit more generous than you to give him a 4.
Absolutely. I'm going to give him a 4 as well. I think I'm going to give him a 4. I think he's failed to get top 4. That has been a failure. But again, for me, I think overall, I look at the bigger picture, and I think for me, the players didn't want to play for him. Ultimately, they gave in. And I think ultimately, the players have got more to blame because I feel like, for me, if you at least give something to the manager, I think you could get halfway there. But yeah, like someone saying 4 generous, it probably is. But I've just looking at it overall, I think 4 for where he came from and the task he had to get these players back up again and getting them playing after they've been, kind of, I don't know what happened under Ollie, but it wasn't great. So yeah. Also, the way maybe he's handled the situation with Lingard and Thingy and Martial, that could be another situation there. Could have handled that better. But listen, time will tell. Time will tell.
Sorry, one last thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
He did play. I know there were injuries, but he played Rashford Bruno and Pogba as strikers in the 4-3-3.
Oh yeah, City. Yeah, City. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, it is what it is, man. Realist TV says 0.
I changed
0.
it. He gets a free.
Yeah, free. Listen, it could be anything, man. There's no definitive answer because the season's been a 0 anyway. So, end of the day, nobody can really see it. You know what I mean? More than that. But people are going to wrap up here. We're just going to go around and ask everybody where can they find you. Suyash, man, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you coming on. And yeah, man, good debut on the show, man. Big up to you. Where can they find you?
I appreciate that. Yes, I've put it. It's there on the screen. @ I forgot the @ SDSXMUFC on Twitter.
Absolutely. Make sure you go following people. Statman Baines, what are you telling them?
Just go follow the Twitter because I think Ten Hag spoke positively about Ronaldo, innit? So I might need to run prop.
Listen, run the prop, man. Run the prop, mate. Listen, if Ten Hag can get Ronaldo playing and scoring goals, it's good for everyone, mate. You know what I mean? There's no agenda against Ronaldo. Goal. Well, listen, you know what I mean? You said it, man. You said it. Daddy, let them know where they can find you.
Why don't we just get the 23-year-old Ronaldo and Nunes? Like, neither one of them can hold the ball up. So, might as well get the guy who can actually play.
Wait, do you want Nunes?
No, I don't. I'm taking the piss. I have a Ronaldo agenda as well. It's just for he's my goal. But I just want to
you see if Danny didn't have Myrtle, yeah, I would actually hate this guy.
No, yeah. But listen, I always say to people, Ronaldo's my goal. I just run agendas. Listen, you can catch me there. There's my handle on Twitter. Make sure you go full ass. I think this is your Suyash's YouTube debut. So it's a big up to him.
Yeah, man. Big up to you, man. Big up, man. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Change that handle though. That handle's a bit mad, man. Like you need to make that a bit simpler so we can follow you. But even when I try to find you sometimes, I need to remember it. That's what it is. It's not Suyash. But yeah, big up to you for your and yeah, Sai, big up to you for letting me jump in at the end there and gate.
No, anytime, man. Anytime, bro. Big up to everybody watching, man. Big up to everybody locked in. Make sure you like the video on your way out, man. Please, guys, leave a like on the video on your way out. Subscribe if you're new. We're literally less than 250 away from 50k people. And also make sure to check out content tomorrow, man. I got a special interview with a Crystal Palace legend. So make sure you check that out, people, tomorrow. It'll be premiering tomorrow. So make sure you're in the comments for that one. And for now, people, enjoy the rest of your... Oh, yeah, by the way, quick prediction for the game against Crystal Palace. I'm going to go for 2-1 United. I don't know how. Statman.
I can't lie. I got a funny feeling we're going to lose, innit? But I'm going to say 1-1.
Yep. Suyash.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. I think one of those results. Yeah, 1-1.
Danny.
I'm going to be difficult. I live in a universe where that game's already happened. I don't care about the game no more. It's gone. I think we lost.
Cool.
I can't remember. Yeah. I think we lost the game.
Wait. You should ask Europa League or Conference League. Where do you think we end up?
Europa League.
We need conference. They deserve conference.
Do we even know the music of Conference League?
We don't, but they need to. It sounds like a Eurovision song. You know the Eurovision Song Contest? That's what it's. I saw it on an advert once and was like, wow, can you imagine playing for that? They deserve that. We don't, but they do. It's a conference.
Ronaldo coming out for the Conference League. That's going to look bad.
He's leaving. That's what I'm saying. Running agendas. Conference, Ronaldo goes. Perfect.
This hater, man. Nah.
Listen. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up, people. Take care, man. Ronaldo.